Hello, Internet. Welcome back to another edition of Eric's Corner with the word of the not so wise. I'm going to talk about another a podcast. Again, I've said before, this is not really something I care to do that much, but if I'm saying something, it's taking the time to doing this. It's something that I really feel like needs my 2 cents for some reason. I mean, my 62 subscribers really like what I have to say, I guess. But the hard pill to swallow page, this dude, it's just the same thing over and over again. He surrounds himself by a bunch of e-prostitutes and just tells them about how they're all bad people and ruining society. And I mean, maybe some of them have good rebuttals, but of course he never shows that. He always shows him and his guest speakers being these heroes and managing to school these girls. And that Bill Clinton kid, again, for the love of God, stop making such useless people famous. He's just regurgitating shit he's seen on the internet. Literally, I've heard everything he's said verbatim, but in like actual English. And most of what he says doesn't make any sense. Now you tell me, well, his English is better than my French. I mean, yeah, I can memorize a bunch of French words and just dump them out also. I mean, sounds like a total idiot. But I mean, I am not defending them or coming to their defense here whatsoever. But you kind of can't. I mean, I was watching Homicide Hunter with Joe Kinda, and he ran into cases where he was dealing with prostitutes. And, he's like, don't be too hard on people for doing what they feel like they have to do. You don't know their situation. People have all kinds of upbringings, and, there's a market for it. So, it takes two to tango here. But we've hit a tipping point where there's not enough work to go around for everybody. Now, all of America is not hyper overpopulated, but the denser populated areas are hyper overpopulated. The population's outgrown the infrastructure, and colleges have failed miserably because they're teaching young people, something with no marketable job skill. We're seeing people saying, hey, I mean, what's going on here? I'm working a 14-hour day with my commute, making barely enough to scrape by. Rent has gotten completely outrageous. Housing cost has had a 200% spike in the last 3 years ago, and that happened in like 6 months. Gas hella expensive. An affordable car is just a total hoopty piece of crap. And I say, yeah, sure, buy that old car because you can fix little things. Well, not everybody has the tools I do, the know-how, the upbringing that I do, to where they have the ability to where they can tinker and fix things. I'm still fucking with that goddamn O2 Arctic cat out there and can't figure it out. Anyway, getting off topic as usual. But I mean, at least they're doing something to support themselves. And just like anything, this OnlyFans epidemic, supply and demand, it's just like Uber and Lyft and Airbnb. It's going to go the other way here, where, only so many people can make a living doing it. And Gary, oh, God damn it, I knew I was going to forget his last name. He's that really loud, obnoxious spokesman. I would call him an influencer, motivational speaker. I mean, I like what he has to say. He's just, like, he's a lot even for me, and I'm a very high energy person, and I don't think he understands some people need to sleep, which he apparently doesn't need to. But he's talking about a lot of people are working from home online and making at least minimum wage, if not quadruple minimum wage, selling for Amazon or whatever the case may be. So that's where our low income or our low wage workforce has gone. But again, only so many people can do that, to where it's going to drive the wages down. People have to go back to work and so forth. But just demonizing these girls and just saying that they are personally responsible for the downfall of society. I mean, if any of you ever been to Asia, pretty much most bars and every strip club is a whorehouse. I mean, I've been to the Philippines. I haven't done much worldly travels. I've been all over the country, every state, every major city. My worldly travels got cut a little short because I ended up having a family, which is fine. I'll go travel later, and they take them with me and all that good stuff. But this is just kind of the natural order of the animal kingdom of humans. We, outgrow our area. There aren't jobs, and, prostitution becomes a means of being able to feed yourself. And at least it's more supporting a lifestyle than an addiction, because prostitution usually was an addiction drug issue, versus now it's, well, I have a certain lifestyle. And this provides that lifestyle. But unfortunately, you know, you're not going to be pretty forever. I mean, especially there's going to be younger, cuter girls that take your place behind you, and all of a sudden you're going to be back to square one. I mean, you live high on the horse for a while, but it is not going to last that long. So we are kind of in a circumstantial problem here. And myself, and I was just talking to my neighbor about this, you know, we are right on the front end of this problem because, I mean, I just turned 37 a week ago, and the younger generation just has this feeling of total hopelessness, like never buy a house. If I save every penny, work 2 jobs, all this, the house that's worth $300,000 now that I could theoretically save up for and own in 5 to 7 years, or say 10 years, okay, it now costs $600,000. And it's got 10 more years of wear and tear on it. It needs a bunch of work. It appreciated in value, but depreciated in living ability or whatever. You know, houses have wear and tear just like anything else. So, yeah, I mean, they have these girls on the show and just tell them just how horrible they are. They're the downfall of society, and I mean, it's only one key factor. I mean. It does definitely seem like and stop saying that there's less quality women. There's just less quality human beings in general. And unfortunately, they pair off, have kids, and raise this sex trophy that just continues this horrible cycle. And myself, my parents are still married. I've had a really good, I'm still really close to them. Part of the reason I moved back to Alaska is be close to mom and dad. They're getting older and aren't as physically capable as they used to be. My sister lives like a 10-hour drive away up in Fairbanks, so she's not close by to help. She obviously jump on a plane if something bad happens pretty easily, but just that little day-to-day stuff. I mean, we got hyperinflation. Let's see, what all did I name? Hyperinflation, can't buy a house, can't rent a place. Wages have not matched anything. And I've done videos how to get out of the rat race, save some money, invest, but you can't just scrape by for 50 years till you retire, and then hopefully all that money you squirreled away actually keeps you barely alive and barely comfortable for your golden years. So, I mean, I don't really know the answer here other than just, like, I don't know, maybe move out of the country somewhere, which I wouldn't want to do. Everywhere else is a freaking dumpster fire. So yeah, I mean, still build value in yourself, still go to college, still get a marketable degree. Enough with these gender studies and underwater basket weaving degrees, and then wondering why your old job, made more. And expect to, you go from your job bartending, you go get this degree. Don't get too used to that lifestyle that's creating. Because then, okay, I have to make a pay cut to get into the field that I want to. Okay, you can do that for 4 or 5 years or longer. And then, because you're not just going to come out of college, okay, where's my $100,000 a year? Or if you end up getting that money's not worth very much because rent's $4,000 a month. When I joined the Navy, I took a major pay cut, and I didn't have a bunch of loans out on trucks and bullshit. And even though I was making really good money and all that, so I was able to take that massive pay cut, and hopefully it would have paid off in the long run, which, I mean, shit, who knows? It might. I mean, it's insanely doubtful. It's hard to go from $80,000 a year to $20,000 a year for 6 years. It wasn't quite that low for 6 years. And have that average out. I mean, if I live to be 120 maybe, but I mean, it's okay. I checked the box. I gave it a shot. So don't be so hard on them. Don't be all high and mighty up on your high horse because you got a good podcast or YouTube channel. Like some of us, me and my goddamn 3 people that might watch this. I mean, I've got some videos that are 3 goddamn months old that have 2 views, which I think is just funny. But yeah, I mean, it's not just about views and, getting information to people. I've got sons, and should something happen to me, this is the way that I can give them advice from beyond the grave. Like, well, what would my dad think of this? I would really like to think that they'd watch all my videos through and through multiple times. Like, well, what would dad have to say here? What would he advise me on? I'd like to think, but who knows? Maybe they find this boring as hell, which is also fine. So yeah, just be careful who your role models are and who you're getting this information from, because you see people do these street interviews and they're just going to show you who they want you to see. Either they want to make everybody that disagrees with them look like an idiot and they're going to show you those people, or they're going to show a bunch of people agreeing with them and say, well, see, I'm right because these 10 people agreed with me. They don't show you the interviews where they absolutely got roadkilled about something. So anyway, thank you for joining me. Have a good day, and keep working hard. I mean, this is just, the day is not going to be won here just complaining and doing the minimums. You're gonna have to work 2 jobs or something, and then hopefully the market goes the other way and it's like, oh shit, I saved up some money. Boom, I'm in a good position. So let me know what you think. Thank you for joining me.